Yo guys, what is going on and welcome back to the channel. In this GTA Online video, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the best graphic settings that you guys can have. I will be showing you guys some low end, mid end and also high end graphic settings depending on what your PC can handle. But just before we jump into the video guys, we just have a quick word from our sponsor. If you guys looking to buy cheap GTA Online money or modded accounts, head over to auroraresupply.com for the best prices there is. When on the website, just head over to the GTA Online section and we can choose from any of these options. They offer a 10 out of 10 service and amazing customer support, so check them out through the link in the description. Now that we're back guys, we will be starting things off with the low end graphic settings. Now I would only recommend these settings if you guys are playing on a lower end system. Also guys, feel free to use the timestamps to skip ahead to your desired graphic settings. But the first option we get here is the DirectX version. Now this really comes down to what operating system you guys are on. But if you guys are on Windows 10 or 11, then you guys will have this option to set DirectX 11. But moving down here guys, we have a screen type. Now with any game that you guys intend to play, you guys want this on full screen. This will maximize your frames and give you guys the best gaming experience. Moving down to the resolution, you guys want to make sure that this is set to your monitor's limit. For me it is a 1080p monitor, but if you guys have a 1440p monitor or even a 4K monitor, then just make sure that it is set here. Obviously if you guys own a 1440p monitor, you can downscale to 1080p. But for the aspect ratio guys, I just keep this on auto. This will mean that the game just automatically sets this for us, but if you guys are using 1080p like I am, then you can also set the aspect ratio to 16:9. Moving on to the refresh rate now, you guys just want to make sure this is on the max. My monitor does support 144Hz, but once again if your monitor only supports 60, then just keep it on that. And now for the output monitor, if you guys have a different monitor, then this is where you can change that and move your game to a different screen. For the FXAA option, you guys want this off. Obviously if you guys don't notice a difference with this off, you can try and turn it back on, but bear in mind guys, this is for the low end systems. For the MSAA, you guys want this off as well. And moving down to the VSync option, now this really depends on your system. Obviously this is the low end graphics, so I will turn this on for this example. In a nutshell, VSync really just helps with screen tearing, but the downside to enabling VSync is that you guys will have input delay. For the pause game on focus loss, I just like to keep this off. This is really down to you guys. For the population density, you guys want this on about a quarter of the bar. This will simply just limit the amount of pedestrians and cars. For the population variety, I would keep this on the same amount as well, so just around about a quarter of this bar, and also do the same for distance scaling. Moving down here we have some texture quality. Now if your system doesn't really run GTA that well, try and put this on low. However, for most of you guys out there, you probably want this on normal. For the shader quality, put this on normal as well, and also put the shadow quality on normal. For the reflection quality, put this on high, but if you guys do notice any graphical glitches, then just set this to normal as well. For the reflection MSAA, put this on ×8. This will make your game look a little bit sharper with the better reflections, especially if you guys keep the reflection quality on high. For the water quality, make sure you guys set this on high. For the particles quality, put this on high as well, and also for the grass quality, put this on high. Once again, if you guys notice any graphical issues, then just set these to lower standards. For the soft shadows, I like to keep this on the softest. For post effects, keep this on ultra or high. Next we have motion blur strength. Now if you guys like motion blur, this is where you can turn it on. Personally, I'm not really a big fan of motion blur in games, so I just turn this off completely. For the in-game depth of field effects, this is really just like motion blur in a way, and this is really down to you guys and your personal preference. I would probably recommend that you guys turn it on and try it out to see what you guys think. But for the anisotropic filtering, I like to keep this on the ×16 value. However, this could be different for you guys. You might be able to only use ×8. For the ambient occlusion, I like to keep this on high. This will make the game look a little bit better with our lower graphics. And finally for tessellation, I like to keep this on high as well. Now that is all of the low end graphic settings. You guys can see that we've barely used up any of our video memory. Obviously if you guys have a low end system, then you guys can tweak these settings around as well to get the most performance or visual quality out of your game. This is a little overview of what these graphic settings look like. You guys will see that the roads and the paths don't really load in too well, but altogether the game runs really smooth and is probably one of the better options if you guys are off for FPS. Now guys, we will be moving over to the mid-end graphics settings. Now we will be skipping over the first 6 settings here, as all of these 6 settings stay the same. So to begin with the mid-end graphics settings, you guys want to turn on the FXAA option. For the MSAA, you guys want to set this to ×4, although you guys can also experiment with going higher. If you guys have the option to turn on Nvidia TXAA, I would keep it off, but once again try experiment with it on and off just to see what works best for you. Moving down to the VSync option, I would keep this off now unless you guys are having serious graphical issues, for example a lot of screen tearing. For the population density, I would put this around about half a bar. This seems to be a really nice standard, not only for the population density but also the population variety and also the distance scaling. For the texture quality, set this to high. For the shader quality, set this to high as well. This will make your game look a lot better than having this on normal. For the shadow quality, set this to normal, although depending on your system specs, you guys can set this to high as well. Put the reflection quality to high and also set the reflection MSAA to ×8. You guys will notice a massive difference with the reflection quality set to high, with the reflection MSAA also set to ×8. Moving on to the water quality, you guys want to set this to very high. It doesn't really affect our video memory or even our FPS that much. You guys want to do the same to the particles quality as well. And for the grass quality, you guys can either set this to ultra or just high. For me personally, I like to set this to ultra. Once again, it doesn't really make much of a difference. For the soft shadow options, I like to keep this on the softest. But then again, this is something I don't really mess around with much. You guys might see some better performance with the other options in this category. For the post effects, I like to keep this on ultra as well. Once again, just like the low end graphics, I keep the motion blur strength all the way turned down. For the anisotropic filtering, I keep this on ×16, and for ambient occlusion, I keep this on high. And last but not least guys, the tessellation, I keep this on very high. This will make the game look better quality wise, and will altogether be more visually appealing. Now, just like before, I will show you guys what this looks like in game after applying these settings. You guys can see that we get a much clearer picture. Obviously, if you guys get any graphical issues or a bit of hitching, then feel free to adjust some of these settings. But now guys, we will be moving on to some high-end graphics settings. Just keep in mind guys that you will need a really good system to actually run these settings. Now just like before guys, we will be skipping over the first 6 settings here as these will not change. So for the FXAA, you guys want this turned on. For the MSAA, you guys want this set to a value of ×8. For the population density, population variety, and also the distance scaling, put these all the way to the end of the bar. Now for the texture quality, shader quality, shadow quality, and also the reflection quality, put all of these on very high. For the reflection MSAA, put this on ×8. And for the water quality, particle quality, and also the grass quality, put these on very high and ultra. For the soft shadows, put this on the softest. And just like before, the post effects, put this on ultra. Once again, I like to keep motion blur off, and for anisotropic filtering I keep this on ×16, set the ambient occlusion to high and also the tessellation to very high. Now keep in mind guys, this is only for high-end systems. I would only recommend using these settings if you guys have a really high-end system first of all, and second of all if you guys want the game to look as best as it can. Just like the graphic settings before, I will show you guys how this looks in game, and as we can see here, this looks completely different to the other settings, although I will say it does look quite similar to the medium ones. However, it does still make the game look super realistic. But yeah guys, that is going to be everything for this graphics video. Hopefully this helped some of you guys determine which graphic settings you want to set. If it did, make sure to leave a like as it really helps me out. And if you guys are new to the channel and like what you see, be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe and thanks for watching.